So do these big moves under the surface raise a warning sign, even when the broader markets seem tame, Guy?
You have to pay attention to them without question. And obviously, tomorrow we could come back. They all could be making new highs. But you wait for days like this to give you some indication that maybe something's turned. In terms of NVIDIA, we saw a very similar move back in January. The stock made an all-time high, 153 and change, closed lower on the day, engulfing pattern. By April, it's trading $90. In terms of the S&P, all-time high today, closed on the lows. You have to watch these things. I mean, this is how it starts. Now, it all could be different tomorrow or Friday, but today is one of those days where in a few months from now, we might come back and say, remember that sort of odd Tuesday in July?
Right.
Well, that was the start of something.
It did feel a little bit defensive in terms of the action in the sectors, utilities, staples. You know, within retail, it was a down day for retail across the board, except for Walmart. Walmart had a pretty decent gain. It felt like there was a little bit of safety seeking today.
Well, I think they're safety seeking, but again, it gets back to the uncertainty that we have in an environment, and we're reminded that CEOs will use this opportunity to remind everyone else that they have a lack of clarity. And we'll talk about UPS, and that was part of that story, even though nobody expected this CEO to give a lot of guidance. And so the part that worries me are the market dynamics, which are we have seen outsized moves in stocks that have missed, especially stocks that have warned a bit. And I think that is something to think about. When you look at where there has been leadership, so far, so good. Look, semiconductors were up small in the day. And when you think about the move that they've had, I think we're fine. But it is a handful of names that touch either consumer discretionary or spending as it relates to hospitality, airlines, travel. And I think we've seen a lot of weak spots. In fact, I think we've seen a lot of companies let you know that they're not so sure about the strength of their business. That's what, on a quiet day in markets, and boy, all we've talked about is how important this week was. This is like the quietest day we have. If you think about it, we've got, and I won't rehash everything we've said is happening this week. So not cause for alarm, but that dollar move is also something to realize. Trades are getting unwound. There is a flight to quality there.
Earnings are beating on an 80% rate. Usually, the 10-year average is 75%. And if you look at the seasonally weak time period is August through October. So it's overvalued or priced to perfection, however you want to say that. Is it due for a little pullback? Yes. So I would take a little chips maybe off the table, but not permanently off the table.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fascinating. We've talked about this a bit, you know, in late April, early May, when a lot of these companies were guiding for Q2. It was about as bleak as it could be, right? The uncertainty in and around the trade war. So the fact that we have companies beating at, you just mentioned 80%, right? But the stocks are selling off. I mean, just look at the screens today. You just mentioned UPS. There's UNH. There's Spotify. Whirlpool. What was the other one? Novo. I mean, not Novo. My Novo, actually. Like, I don't even know why the people are not buying the Wegovy anymore. It works, people. I'm just telling you that right now. No, but, you know, I mean, look at what's going on. Look what the companies are saying. And this is kind of coming in after they gave, you know, squishy guidance going back 3 months or so. So I have no idea how the stock market is within 1% of the all-time highs. If I just look at the names and the reactions that we've seen over the last 2 weeks since financial earnings, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So it maybe is this thing about passive. I don't know. Is it picking up some of these other groups that we're not paying attention to? Because the stuff that I'm paying attention to does not trade particularly well.